Hey, it's Bruce with WeedersDigest.com and the Weed Roller, and I wanted to take a moment to walk you through a quick little demonstration. Actually, it's not going to be that quick. I'm going to try to cover a lot of details, though. By now, I'm thinking that you've already seen a lot of the information about the Weed Roller on our website at WeedersDigest.com, but now I want to walk you through details, what I'm going to call the frequently asked questions. So basically, this is on my own shoreline, and I put it into an area that had been previously never weed rolled before. And as I flipped on the video camera here, this is after 5 days of activity. So a lot of people try to figure out, well, how fast, what are my expectations, what should they be? And I'm one that I don't like to oversell this thing. It's a phenomenal tool. It'll sell itself, especially once you have it. Your neighbors will be thrilled to see it, and it'll sell itself. But in the meantime, let me just walk through that. Right there, you can see that after 5 days, we've got an area that really started out with about, I believe that was about 6 inches of silt and muck, and it is to the point of right there, hard packed. You aren't going to find anything more firm than that. You aren't going to find another sandy beach that would be any better. So after 5 days, that area is fantastic. Now, at the same time, as we roll down the different tube here, and by the way, this, I believe in this case, I'm running seven 7-foot tubes, so I'm at 49 feet, which comes standard with 21. You can upgrade to 35, and then the 49 feet is something that is not warranted, but this particular unit was after the warranty had expired after 2 years, so I didn't have any issue doing it. You can see the weed line right where it has been and where it has not been. And over on this far part of my property there, you can see there's some areas that still have weeds, there's some areas that still have muck. And that's for a combination areas. It was deeper muck in that area, and there's an area that I actually bring my boat in. Actually, years ago, I brought my boat in and had kind of dug that out. And so the weed roller is all based on getting traction and getting connection with the bottom of the lake. And so in those particular areas, because there was kind of a depression or a divot, it was not actually getting any good contact with it. Now you can right there see how much that it's stirring up. As it's going over there, it's lifting that silt, and you'll notice those fins that are on there about an inch and a half, and what they're doing is they're cutting through the weeds, they're ripping up the weeds, and they're also lifting the silt and lifting the muck and causing it to dissipate. That's the reason why the other area has become clean, is because it's lifting up the sand, the good stuff, the heavy stuff, and letting the sand continue to just kind of keep turning over and flipping up, and then the sand is going to fall back to the bottom, and the silt is going to dissipate away. Now you can see right here is a weed line. Right there is firm, hard. I mean, it'll be a complete line like that. And so, hello. And so you can see right there where we've got weeds that are growing and muck, and I'm sure that's as I recall, you're going to step in there, and that was actually an area that would sink at least 6 to 8 inches. That shows, I mean, that's sand that's left behind there. Even if you don't think you have sand right now, you'll be able to get there. Now, one of the other things about it is that to enhance, I suggest for a little performance enhancement, we've got our Aqua Blaster and Aqua Thruster. Those are both really capable of, when that silt is lifted, you can push it out of there with those. Phenomenal thing to add to a weed roller. However, I feel like if you were to buy this weed roller from me, I greatly respect the fact that you're spending a lot of money. Trying to ask you to buy another expensive piece of equipment is not my goal, but there's some people that say money's not an option, I want this done as fast as I can, and in those cases I will suggest whatever our water movers, the Aqua Blaster or the Aqua Thruster. Now, a couple other things is there. You can see that divot that I was talking about where the boat used to come in. It's going to take some time before it gets there, but you can see it's just slowly working away at it. Now, when we get into areas that do have that deeper muck, I really want to make sure that we've had a chance to talk. If it's 6 inches, 8 inches or whatever, plug the weed roller in, walk away, and if you're a cabin person, come back the next week. You'll probably be thrilled with the results. But if you've got a foot, 18 inches, 2 feet, I've had people use it in 3 and 4 feet. But I really want to make sure you understand that there's going to be some challenges when you get to that. It's going to get stuck, and I'm telling you, when it gets stuck in the muck, it is not a pretty job to get it out. But I guarantee you that anybody that I've talked to that put the weed roller in, even when they had a lot of muck, I don't think they regretted their purchase ever. That is a flex coupler that helps it, work through the different contours, and you can see, you can kind of envision there a little bit that there's the pipe is bending. So in this case, when I'm running 49 feet, obviously over 49 feet there are changes, from in the topography or the bottom. So with that rubber flex coupler in there, it causes it to bend a little bit. Now, if you'll notice on the right, another tip here for working in heavy muck, I had created my own mud kit. Now you probably already aware we do sell a mud kit that goes on the very end, and I've got that in another video, but this is just another tip. You can mount let's say a 1x4, mount it onto those fins, and it's going to give you some extra traction. Remember, the key is traction. That's what makes the weed roller operate, so keep that in mind. The other thing is we put some air in the tubes so that they don't burrow down to the bottom. That's if you've got a lot of muck. So do me a favor, before you buy the weed roller, if you've got that foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 feet of muck, let's have a discussion about it, because it's not always that easy to say that the muck isn't a problem. You need to be thinking about that. A couple of different other questions that come up. People ask about the sound. Well, mine is about 125 feet from the house. I can't hear it. If I'm 75 feet away and I listen very carefully and it's perfectly quiet at night, I can hear it. So keep that in mind. The other thing is install time. 4 hours from the time you open the box, watch the DVD, read the instructions thoroughly, and put it in. 4 hours, gives you plenty of time, but that's different. Like in this case, look at where I'm running it. I'm running it in like a foot of water, right up by the shore. I'm not walking through muck or anything like that. To me, that's a 2-hour job. If you're out there in waders and cold water in 2 feet of muck and you're not that handy with it, then figure 4 hours. So just keep that in mind. If you got 2 people, cut it in half. That's 2 hours. The other thing is, a lot of people want to know, can I move it? And yes, you can move it. You can move it from dock post to dock post, dock to dock, share it with a neighbor. I moved mine this evening by myself. It took me probably 10 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes to move it from one dock post to another dock post. But believe me, I've done it so many times, it's a piece of cake. At the same time, to the quite contrary, I've had people that sold their weed roller because it was such a hassle to put it in every spring. Well, to be honest with you, and that's what I'm doing, I'm just being honest with you. Some people think it's a big hassle. To me, the benefit is far outweighs anything that ever would be concerned about that. Now, a couple of different things. Always keep in mind, see how you're causing all that drift of the silt and that lifts up? Keep that in mind, because you got to think about your neighbors when you buy this thing. Is it something that's going to cause them an issue as it floats around? So there's a bunch of different mounting options. I'm going to show that in another video. In the meantime, I hope that you call us up and ask us what you need to ask us at 877-224-4899. This is Bruce with Weeder's Digest. I'm showing you the best product you're ever going to find out there, guaranteed to handle your shoreline better than anything else. So thank you for your consideration. Give us a call, or let us know how we can answer your questions, or we'll get one shipped. We ship them all around the world. We're happy to ship one to you today. Thank you.